Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Pam with Be Creative Crafts, and this is Off the Hook. And y'all, tonight we are going to learn how to do this stitch right here. This is a stitch pattern sequence that I showed y'all a few weeks ago. And y'all, I did the whole tutorial, and honestly, I just wasn't feeling it. Every time I go to edit it, I'm finding more and more things about it that I didn't like. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go live and show you how to do the stitch. Now, you can do this in any color palette that you want. Hey, Samantha, welcome in. So this here is Red Heart Super Saver, Bitty Stripes in the color, is it called Crayon Box? That doesn't sound right. I think it is Crayon Box, and then black. But you can do it in any color that you want. So tonight I'm going to show you how to do. Well, hey, Spring, welcome in. How are you? Samantha says, what time do you go live? Normally, I go live around 8:30, but tonight I was not sure if I was going to go live because I was watching TV and I got started on watching Grey's Anatomy. And if y'all watch Grey's, you know how it is. So anyway, I had to turn off the TV. But I wanted to show y'all how to do this little stitch sequence because I've been promising to get it up for y'all, and I haven't done it. Well, hey, Darcia and Miss Tammy. I believe that's Tammy, right? Flower Crochets. See, I don't like how they changed up how they do my thing. Yes, Spring is saying Tammy too. So, yay, woohoo! So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hey, Miss Angel. Oh, me. I know one thing. This is hot. So, y'all, for this particular stitch sequence, you're going to cut the strand after every row, and I'm using it as my fringe. Let me go ahead and flip the camera, but first I'm going to put up a picture because my camera has gotten to where it likes to pause, and I don't like that because it always pauses my face at the weirdest, with the weird look on my face. You know what I'm saying? There's Mr. Nightbot dropping my Plaid affiliate link. Let me flip the camera. Flippity flip flip. And take off this here. Ta-da! Here we are. And I'm going to take this scarf off. So this is the hat I made to go with it. There's where I turned. I didn't cut the yarn when I did the beanie. Okay, so here it is with the black and the bitty stripes. All right, so what are you going to need? You are going to need 2 colors of yarn, any 2 colors that you want to use. Now let me turn off the autofocus here so that it's not going in and out. There we go. The more contrast, the better. Well, I don't know though, because that one's not very contrasting and it's really pretty. But we're just going to make a little mug rug. So let me get these out of the way. And as you can see, you just leave your tails. So you can have a few little stragglies like this one here, or you can add more fringe to it and have a fuller fringy like that one there. Okay. Let me get back to my comments. Sorry, y'all. Hey, Lisa, welcome in. Miss Spring said she is cooking and listening. Ooh, what you cooking? What yumminess are we having? Okay, so these are the 2 colors that I'm going to use tonight. I think there will be enough contrast. Kind of muted. This is, your guess is as good as mine. It's Red Heart Super Saver. Pretty sure the color is just something like buff, maybe. And then this one is some Scrappy. This is I Love This Yarn. And this one is in the color Sunset. And of course, it's not going to focus in because I took off the autofocus. Hey, Miss Angela, welcome in. How are you tonight? Spring said she is having cheddar jalapeno kielbasa Alfredo. Oh, Bus Alfredo. That sounds delicious. When shall we show up? What time is it going to be ready? And for my hook, I'm going to be using a 5.5. Y'all can't see that because, and focus it in. I turned you off. Come on. Trust me, it says 5.5. It's kind of going to focus, sort of, kind of. So an eye hook for those that like to use the letters, which is normally how I do it, but I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to learn all of my millimeters because I know other countries and other hook peoples don't all use the letter system. They use numbers. Let's see here. Spring says it's going to be ready in about 10 minutes. But she said she can be a typical Southerner and stretch it out a little bit further. Exactly. Okay, so you're going to leave a bit of a long tail. Oh, let me zoom me back out just a hair. Got to zoom in to zoom out. Boop. Because that's what we're going to use to create our little fringe. So here's one that I've already done. So I left this one with just a few fringes. This one let me turn it this way. Because I toyed around with adding a border on it. And really, once it's all said and done, you don't have to add a border. I like it just as well both ways. So this is what it's going to look like. And then you can trim your fringe at the end if you want to leave it long, depending upon how long you want to leave it. Now with the scarf, I left it really long, but I'm going to shorten it a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to leave, the way I've been doing these little mug rugs is I've just been leaving the tail about as wide as my hand. And you're going to chain an even number. So however wide you want them to be. So I'm just going to, let's do a chain of, let's do 16. Yep, so let's do a chain of 16. Oopsies. Sorry, y'all, I can't count and talk. Hey, Sandrine and Miss Trish, welcome in. How are y'all doing tonight? So what we're making, let me just put this little guy back over here. This is the one I want. See, this one I did a border on both sides. And honestly, I couldn't tell a big difference once I got them all said and done. Like once you add the fringe in. But this is what we're making, just a little mug rug. Those were my samples that I was doing up when I was making the scarf. Now for the scarf, I did a chain of 250. If I make another scarf for myself, I'll probably do it a little bit shorter because it's very long. But I also wanted it to be warm and toasty so that I could layer it up. Okay, now we're just going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and that should leave me with a stitch count of 15. And this is, I was calling this pop of color is what I was going to call the pattern for the scarf. Just because it's going to give you a little pop of color. And this was I've been seeing this picture pop up on Pinterest, but there was no tutorial for it. And so I worked up what it looked like she was doing, and it gave less color, so I changed it up. And I'll show y'all here in just a second how I changed it up. She said, oh, you just said mug rug. Okay, so there's my 15. Now I'm just going to chain one, what did I do with my scissors? There they are. And then I'm going to cut this off right here. So I leave it on the hook. I pull it out to where I can see where the other one ends. And then I just go back about an inch or so and snip it. And that's going to make it be very close to being the same length. Yeah. And that's what you got so far. Now I'm going to grab my color B here, my other color. I'm going to go ahead and make a little slip knot. We're going to, let's see, we just ended there. We're going to turn our work. And in this first stitch here, we're going to do a standing single crochet, or you can slip stitch, chain one, and then do a single crochet, however you want to start it. I'm just going to do a standing single. So drop a loop, yarn over, pull through both, and there's my single crochet. Trish said, I sent you a message on Messenger for the link for movies online, etc. Oh, okay, fine. Okay, I'll check that out. So we just did a single crochet. So now we're going to chain one. Then we're going to skip a stitch. And then in this stitch here, let me zoom us back down a little. Is that close enough? In this stitch here, we're going to do a 2 single crochet cluster. So you're going to insert your hook, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, and then you're going to hold because now you have 2 loops on the hook. Now you're going to go back into that same stitch, drop another loop, have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Trish said, my email just won't work for her. I don't know why. You can try, if maybe it has to do with the Gmail, but you can send it to becreativecrafts@AOL also. Okay, so now we're going to chain one, skip a stitch, and then the next one, do another 2 single crochet cluster. So insert again, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, go back into the same stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Chain 1. And then you're just going to repeat that all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining. So chain 1, 2 single crochet, cluster, chain 1. And the picture that I had been seeing, she just did a single crochet, and it was really cute. Here's my initial swatch. See, so you just get a teeny weeny little hint of color. And then this one, was a half double crochet cluster, I think. No, that was a double crochet cluster. And then this one was a half double crochet, and then this was the single. But I felt like the 2 single crochet cluster gave me just enough more color that I liked it better. Okay, now we've got 2 stitches left. So now you're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and in this last stitch here, work a single crochet. Hey, Nancy, welcome in. Then we're going to chain 1 and fasten off. And the way I gauge my tails for the other side, for this last one, is I just fold it in half and just cut it about the same as the other side. It doesn't really matter, to be quite honest, because once you cut them, you can make them however long you want them to be. But you want to leave them long enough to where you can cut your little fringes. Okie doke. Now we're going to go back to color A. Again, I'm just using my hand to get my starting tail. I'm just doing it the width of my hand. Okay, so we just ended here. So we're going to turn our work. In this first single crochet, you're going to do a slip stitch to join. First, I got to find my working yarn. There we go. I'm going to slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now this here is going to count as your first double crochet. This does count as a double crochet. Hey Karen, welcome in. Sorry, I missed seeing you come in. Miss Nancy is working on the arm of a scarecrow. Awesome. And if anybody else has popped in and I have missed you, please just say howdy do again. Okay, now in this first chain 1 space here, we are going to work a 3 double crochet cluster. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to go into your space, draw up a loop, have 3 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to yarn over, go back into that same space, draw up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into the chain 1 space, draw up a loop. Now you have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 4. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Chain 1. We're going to skip over the single crochet cluster and jump over into this next chain 1 space and work another 3 double crochet cluster. And you're just going to do that all the way across, working a 3 double crochet cluster in each of the chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, and do that until you get to the last chain 1 space. Oopsies. Get back on there. That would be tiny, making noises. 1, 2, 3. Nancy said her scarecrow is 12 inches tall so far, and she hasn't made his head and hat, so he will be big. Oh, he is going to be big, but he's going to be super cute, y'all. Oh, this color right here would probably have worked well for hay. Well, it's a little light for hay, maybe. I don't know though. It's probably the color of straw. Let's see, got 1 more chain 1 space. So now after I do this last 3 double crochet cluster, I'm going to not do a chain 1 after this one. So I've just finished it. Now we're going to go into this first single crochet, the last single crochet of the row, and we're going to work a double crochet so that it matches what we have on the other end. So remember, this chain 3 counted as our first double crochet. So we have a double crochet and a cluster, chain 1 cluster, chain 1 cluster all the way across, and then we end with a cluster and a double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1 and cut our yarn. Ta-da! And then we're just going to repeat that, y'all, over and over until you get it as wide as you want it. So we're going to go back to our color B here. Turn our work. In this first stitch, work a single crochet. Now, when I say you can slip stitch to join, or you can do the standing single, what I mean, okay, so the first time we did it as a standing single. So I just yarned over, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pulled through. That gave me my single crochet. So if you want, if you're not comfortable doing a standing single, you can insert your hook, slip stitch, chain 1, and then work a single crochet back into that same stitch. Just whichever way you choose to start it, just be consistent so that it looks the same all the way down. That's up your sides. That's, personal preference, how you want to do it. Okay, where's my tail or my working yarn? There we go. The only problem with leaving all these tails is I tend to want to grab the wrong thing. Okay, so we've just worked our singles. Now we're going to chain 1, jump over to that chain 1 space, and now we're going to work our 2 single crochet cluster in that chain space. So again, that's yarn or insert your hook, draw up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop, go back into the chain 1 space, drop a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 and chain 1. Skip over the cluster, the 3 double crochet cluster into that chain 1 space and work a 2 single crochet cluster. And then just repeat that all the way across. So y'all, I'm interested to know how many people's weather has gone wackadoodle this week. So in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, here where I'm at, I believe it was Monday, it snowed all day. Like not a heavy snow, but it flurried all day. And today it was like 80 degrees. We had storms, bad storms like earlier in the week, and then it went into like when we went to bed, we had like wind advisories. Yeah, because that was Sunday. We had all the wind. And then Sunday night, we had storms. And then Monday, yeah, it snowed all day, like flurried all day. And it was obviously freezing because it snowed all day. It hovered like right around 33 degrees, which was fine because if it had warmed up any more than that, then it would have just been a wet, cold, drizzly mist all day, which would have just been terrible. So at least with the flurries, they didn't amount to anything. Not in my area. Like parts of Tennessee got accumulation, but we didn't. But at least it kept it dry. Like even though it was flurrying, it wasn't like a wet, muddy mess. And then now, yeah. Everybody's saying mine. Karen said 92nd day in Sacramento. I've been seeing that it's warm there. My youngest son lives in that area, and his partner, they had posted how hot it was. Angel said, yep, experiencing the same weather as her. Lisa said, yep, wacky here. Angela and Angel both saying the same. Nancy said low 51 and high 72 today. Last weekend it was in the 90s. It's just crazy weather. Okay, so here we are at our last cluster, double crochet cluster, and then here's that chain 3 that we did to start that row. Remember I said that counts as a double crochet. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're just going to go right here in the top of this stitch here. If you want to do it through both little leggies, and then finish out the row with a single crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to fasten or cut our yarn, fasten off, and turn. And that is not really popping out much. It's going to be kind of neutral. This is going to be a neutral little mug rug. That's okay. Ugh. Go back to color A. Lisa said she is so tired of snow. I saw parts of the U.S. got hit with a blizzard. I know Kimberly and them were supposed to get, up in Minnesota, they were supposed to get like 12 inches of snow or something crazy. And I saw like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I don't know how accurate it was, but the thing I saw said something like 40 inches, which may have been extreme, but it was a lot. Hey, Zach, welcome in. Okay, so I've just inserted my hook here. We're going to slip stitch to join. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, this counts as a double crochet. Then we're going to go straight into that chain 1 space there and work a 3 double crochet cluster. And then we're going to chain 1, skip over our single crochet cluster, jump over to that chain 1 space and work another 3 double crochet cluster. Tiny, don't you be scratching my chair. You better quit. Go. Go, go. Go on. No, don't lay on those. Don't lay on those. Go. Go on. Go, go, go. Ugh. That would be Tiny knocking stuff off. Let's see here. Zach says, sorry he's been MIA. And to Nancy, he's been MIA too. Don't feel bad. Hey, Miss Diane. Don't feel bad. I haven't I didn't do very many lives in February, to be quite honest, Zach. And I've been lurking in the background on a lot of the lives. Miss Diane, I am making a little mug rug or a coaster or whatever you want to call it with the stitch that I showed y'all a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it may have been a month ago now. That I was calling Pop of Color. And I worked up several little, this was a little bit bigger. This one we started with a chain of 16. It may be a little too narrow. But I made it into a scarf. Now for the scarf, I started with a chain of 250. I'm pretty sure this is called Crayon Box, but it's the Bitty Stripes Red Heart Super Saver, and then this is just black. But I didn't like the tutorial. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't liking how it was flowing. So I decided today that I would just be like, you know what? When I get home, I'm going to show y'all how to do this on the live tonight. Did I do my chain one? I did. Make it a little looser. Lisa said they got a blizzard Sunday into Monday, and they got about 5 inches of snow. Yucky. We didn't get a blizzard, but it did flurry all day. But on Monday. And it was cold. And then today it was absolutely gorgeous. I sat in my car during lunch, went and picked up my lunch, and then I just sat in my car with the windows down, reading a book. It was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So Zach, how did you get, I know you said you were supposed to get your CPAP machine this week. Did you get that appointment? Oh, thank you, Miss Nancy. Let me get you a little thank you video here. Give me just a second. Let me finish up this row. So chain one. Now here we have one chain one space left. So we're going to do another 3 double crochet cluster. Now after this one, we don't do a chain one. We just go straight into that last single crochet of the row and work a double crochet. Chain one and then fasten off, leaving yourself a tail so that you can create your fringe. Let me go over here to my videos and play this for Miss Nancy. Zach said, yes, he got his machine on Tuesday. He's used it for 2 nights so far. I just need to get used to it. It does take some getting used to. My mom had one for years. So, and Darcia said, thank you, Nancy, for the super sticker. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So that's what it's looking like. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's do a couple more rows anyway. Maybe 3. So we're going to go ahead and turn our work. And then those are it's just once you get it going, 2-row repeat for this part. You're just repeating your single crochet cluster row and your double crochet cluster row until you get it to the width that you want it, or the length, depending upon which, what project you're working on. And if you want this to be your width, or if you want it to be the length. For my scarf, it would be the length. For, I guess technically it would be the length for the mug rug. We're just going to zip right through this. Has anybody in chat ever done a stitch similar to this? Or let me know. Or if you've seen the same picture floating around. One of them is AI generated. One of them just shows a lady, the one on Pinterest anyway. I said she didn't show what she was doing, but she shows that all of this part's made, and then she just shows going a single crochet, chain one, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. But that's all it shows. There's nothing else, there's no other part of it. But anyway, but I like the look of it, so I thought, you know what, I can come up with my own, because it's like, it looks similar to moss stitch with the chain ones and the single crochets, but then you just toss in a double crochet cluster. But then I wanted a little more color, although that's very muted. I probably should have went a little more drastic in my colors here. I was looking for my beige. I don't know what I did with it. It can't have gone far because it didn't leave this table. Or did it? You know what? I may have taken it into the living room the other day. That's probably why I didn't find it. It's in the living room. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Here's my paint water. We'll do one more cluster and one more single crochet, one more double crochet and one more single crochet cluster rows. And then we will finish it off. I'll show y'all how to do that. And Lisa is saying to Zach, she has one and can't live without it. I already turned my work, so now I'm going to turn it back. We are going to do a slip stitch to join here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work a 3 double crochet cluster stitch all the way across. 3 double crochet cluster in the chain 1 spaces, chain 1, skip the single crochet cluster, and work it across. And let's see, Zach is saying, without the CPAP, I quit breathing 63 times in an hour, and with the CPAP, only 3 times. So I'm calling it a win. Oh, wow. And Diane said, is it cotton? What I'm currently using is not. It's acrylic. Cotton would be more absorbent. But for what I'm using it for, like I don't drink hot liquids. So I usually make my coasters or mug rugs out of whatever yarn happens to be laying there. But you could absolutely do this in cotton. Absolutely. Now here I am on my last my last chain 1 space. Remember, after this one, we don't do a chain 1. We just go straight into that last single crochet and work a double crochet. And then fasten off, leaving yourself a tail. Oop. And turn. I'm going to do one more row of the pop of color, which is the single crochets, cluster row. Start with a standing single crochet, or like I said, however, if you prefer to do a slip stitch, chain 1 and then do a double or single, you can. I like to do a standing single, chain 1, and then work a 2 single crochet cluster, chain 1. Now I've been making these in more contrasting colors. This one's going to be a little more subtle, but I still think it's pretty. The pop of color will show more as the more of the contrast of the yarn, the more your pop of color will show. Okay, so here we are at the end. We're going to chain 1, skip over that last cluster, and remember this chain 3 at the beginning counts as your first double crochet. So we're just going to go ahead and work a single crochet in the 3rd chain. I made that one loose or tight. Get over here. Bye, Darcia. She said she has a phone call, so she probably can't hear me. And Lisa said, yep, it's scary to think you aren't breathing. That is very scary. Yeah, Zach said, yeah, scary to think I quit breathing 63 times. Exactly. And that's also like, yeah, it's just, I'm glad that you went and got tested and now you have the machine. Fasten off and cut it with a tail. Okay, now we are ready to do our last row here. Now, since we did a chain and then worked a single crochet, that gives it about the width of a half double crochet. So for our last row here, we're going to do a row of half double crochets. So we're going to, I'm going to do a standing half double, but you don't have to do that. You can slip stitch to join like we've been doing with the double crochets. Spinning around because it's a little fiddly. And then you're going to just work a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. So in every chain 1 space, work a half double, and in the tops of each of those single crochet clusters, work a half double. And then we're almost done with it. And then I will show the samples that I have made up and show you how it looks in other colors. Now this one came out a little more square. I think on my sample stitches, I did it. I did a chain of 18 so that I was 2 stitches longer. Now these here are even wider because after I started making these, I was like, oh, those would be, if I made it this wide, that would be a great little mug rug. Snip my yarn here. Boop. Ta-da. So depending upon how wide you want it to be, I think one more little cluster wide. So I would say for me, if I make these again to like add to my inventory, I'll probably make one more double crochet cluster wider. So instead of starting with a chain of 16, I'll start with a chain of 18. Let's see, what did I do? Let me see here. And count this up right here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did 18. Tiny knocked my phone off when he went by me, so let's see here. Pick up my phone. Now, before I should go to the samples, what I did was I went to the ones and let's see how these two are close together. That's where we started a row and ended a row. So I'm going to knot these together. And that creates little tiny either fringes or little tassels. And if you want to add more, which I have done, I'll show you on this other sample here how I make my fringe. And one more here. Ta-da. Now you can do all your fringe different colors. You can do it to where all the beigey colors have beige and all the bright pops of color have a pop of color, or you can just mix them up. For this one, I'm just going to mix them up. So you want it to be twice as long as your current fringe. So I just fold it over. I'm going to cut this one here. I'm going to grab, whoa, what did I do? There we go. And then I'm going to grab, where's my end? There you are. My color. And I'm going to do another strip the same length as that one. Fold them in half to create a loop. Then I'm going to grab my little hook here and just go along the side here wherever you so desire. Pull it through and ta-da. And then you can just add more fringe all the way down. Let's see. Where did you go? Right here. So on this one here, let's see, this one I added a border, but you don't really have to. And let me show you why. Here it is with the scarf. No border. No border with the scarf. And I couldn't tell a difference between the two. So adding a border to then just add the fringe to was a waste of time. So I didn't do that on these others. This is where this one I did. I was playing around with it to see, and then I just pulled the fringe through. I was just a half double. I think it's a half double. No, single. No, half double. But then I decided I didn't need it. Hey, Kimberly, welcome in. Lisa said she has had her CPAP for 20 years. Oh, wow. Let me scroll back up here. Zach said, yep, the end of November, he was in the hospital. Wasn't supposed to get his sleep test until February, but they pushed it up for him because they had a cancellation. Oh, well, that's great, though. That's great that they pushed it up for you. You just knot it. But as you can see, the more contrasting of the color, the more your pop of color really shines. Now on this, you can see that the double crochet clusters kind of pop up. So you can choose which side you want to be your dominant side, or the side that's your right side. So on this one, the single crochet cluster is kind of to the back. And on this one, the single crochet cluster is more to the front and your double crochet is to the back. So you can choose which side you want to be. And this is using the same yarn. It's just the way the color changed in the yarn. But I used, that's the same color but with white. Like I said, I mean, it just flows. It was the flow of the yarn. And then this one, of course, is very, and it's the same stitch sequence, but as you can see, the darker your contrast, like, so the darker the background and the brighter the single crochets, to me, it just makes these look bigger. It makes it really just pop out more. Nancy said, those look like Easter eggs. Lisa said she can't remember if she's had 4 or 5 new machines. Oh, wow. My mom had a CPAP, and then she went to another type of machine. and I can't remember what it's called. It's along the same lines as the CPAP. It's just called something else. It's a different not a variation, but it's a different machine, but it works in the same it does the same basic function, which helps you. It helps blow the air. I think one is like a constant stream of air and one just poofs it. The CPAP poofs it, right? BiPAP, that's the other one. Thank you, Lisa. And then again, here is the scarf. And like I said, I left the fringe way long on the scarf. I'm going to trim it eventually. But I left it long for now. And again, this was with the bitty stripes. And I think it turned out really cool. But I called it Pop of Color because, you know, you just get these little pops of color. And you really can't see the black. Trust me, right here are the double crochet clusters. You just can't, they're just not coming across on the screen there. Let's see. There we go. There you go. Now you can see them. Alrighty, let me get put this back on, and I will flip my camera back around. And I hope I didn't go through that too fast. Oh, before I flip, I'll show y'all the hat, the beanie. I did my increasing rows on the beanie with the black. So like right here, I did a 2 double crochet cluster in one. And then in this one, I did 2. So that's where I did my increases. Tiny was laying on it. Got tiny fur on it. Here's where I joined. So you can kind of see a seam going up through here. But I did not cut my yarn. I just carried it up the inside. And I turned after each round so that my seam would be straight. Now you could also work it flat like this and then just seam it up and then cinch it and do a beanie that way. But that's how I did it. Just a standard. I started with 12 double crochets. Let's see. Maybe not. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did 12 because for the first row, for the first go around, I did a single crochet cluster in each stitch. So I did a single crochet cluster, chain 1, and then a single crochet cluster in each of the original double crochet. So that got me my double. That's how I did my increase. Okay. Lisa said BiPAP is the forced air. Okay. Cool. I knew they worked. I mean, they have the same goal. They just work differently. Looking for let's see here. Oh, I played the wrong one for Nancy. This is the one. played her the thank you waves instead of the thank you for the super chat. Either way, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So this is what it looks like if you want to do it as a scarf. See? And like I said, I'm going to trim these, but they're fun leaving them long for now. Oh, I forgot I don't have my thing mirrored, so I'm trying to like straighten it up, but it's going the wrong way. Go back over here to my comments. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Here's the one we made tonight. I'll finish tying it up and adding a little more fringe, and then I'll trim it up. There's one that I've already had made. So, but yeah, you could totally make these in cotton. You could make them in acrylic. The only thing is if you're making them in acrylic, you don't want to set anything extremely hot on it, like, because, you know, acrylic will melt. But for what I'm using them for, nothing that I'm going to sit on them is that hot. So sitting in my Dr. Pepper can will be fine. They aren't very absorbent, but it works. It protects my surface anyway. So, but there you go. All right, y'all. I thank y'all so very much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Let me go over here and find my little video. There it is. All right. Thank you again so much for coming and hanging out. I hope y'all will give this stitch a try. And if you do, I have my, what are they called? The post set up to where you can leave a photo on my YouTube channel now. So if you make it, you can just leave your picture there. And then we can all check it out and see what you've made. All right. I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. Remember, be creative. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.